Welcome to the Ballroom Dance Channel. We are a worldwide community of ballroom dancers who meet here every day to chat all things ballroom dance. Forgive my plain Jane look again today. Still recovering from my eye surgery. My eyes are slightly less blurry today and a little bit less itchy, so continued prayers. Okay, today's video was a follow-up on the one I did regarding costume colors and how this can positively or negatively impact your comp results. And friends, this is especially important when you get to those open levels or even the finals of syllabus, because at that point, everyone's probably dancing textbook correct. Well, you got to bring something else to the table, play every card that you can. In that last video, I talked about the warm colors, and I broke down those warm color details as well and how that activates the sympathetic nervous system and what that does to your judge's brain. Well, today we're going to talk about the cool colors. Now, these activate something altogether different, the parasympathetic nervous system. So these are more calming feelings it's going to bring to the judge's mind as soon as they see you. And when I say as soon as they see you, I do mean as soon as they see you. It is your first impression. And in terms of when your brain processes the color versus that analytical aspect, twice as fast. That is how hardwired color is into your DNA. So I'm going to show a couple snapshots from movies. These will be different ones than I shared last time. To give you an idea, just reflect on the content of the movie and if it's a happy movie or a sad movie or a scary movie, and what feelings you feel as soon as you see the color of these screenshots from the films. Here's number one. We'll look at warm colors. So in that sympathetic nervous system, that probably inspired kind of excitement, happiness. These are good feelings, especially if you have a hard time expressing yourself on that floor and you want to convey something emotionally with your costume that you're not able to express with your face or your dancing. Okay, next up, we are going to look at the cool colors, and here's a couple cool color movies for you. You tell me if you feel any different at one shake of a lamb's tail looking at these screenshots from the films. I'll be right back. So, before you even saw the titles of those films, I guarantee when you saw those stills and that color palette in general, you're thinking, this feels different than looking at those warm red, orange, yellow screenshots. Yes, it does. You have activated a completely different part of your nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. So we looked at Blade Runner still. This is a dark, scary film. We looked at a still from Fox and the Hound, a really sad kids film. And so now I'm going to break down a variety of cool colors and how you can use those to your advantage and what feelings are going to inspire in the judges. So number one, let's look at green. I don't highly recommend it because it's an earth tone and ultimately you are dancing with an earth tone background on that brown floor, but it can work to your advantage. It's definitely a feeling of harmony, stability, predictability. It could create a sense of stagnation in your judge's mind. You don't really want them to think, well, I'm just going to see the same thing I did last time. But that's what that green gown is going to bring to the table. Next up, blues. This is the quintessential cool color. Well, this is going to create a sense of stillness, maybe a silent emotional sense of longing. That can play to your advantage. I also like that it's very predictable and calming. So if you're one of those dancers that has a complete freak out on the floor, whether that be with your dancing or with your face, trying to smile and emoting nothing because you just look scared, well, blue might be a good choice for you to counterbalance that, especially because that's the first impression and that's going to be 80% pow, strong impression. And so if that counterbalances the analytical part of your judge's brain where they're looking at you like, well, analytical part of my brain says they're freaking out and panicking and a measure ahead of the music speeding, But the other half of their brain says, oh, they're calm, cool, collected. Well, yeah, yin and yang. Those will balance out in your favor. Okay, next up, purple. I personally love me a good purple, but there's a downside. It has the least visual impact of any color. And as I mentioned in my previous video, yellow has the strongest immediate visual impact, just in terms of a DNA. But it does create a sense of mystery, which could be good for you. Maturity, if maybe you're a really young dancer and you want to be taken seriously in that adult age, you're just entering the category. So you might be able to use that to your advantage. Next up, pink. Now, obviously pink comes in a wide variety of shades. Overall, it's soothing, it's femininity, but from my perspective, if you do that fluorescent, it almost fires up into that red category. Not burgundy. Burgundy is going to be more towards those purple emotions, but that fluorescent pink is kind of look at me type feeling out there. Okay, next up, black. I don't highly recommend black. It can work well for you if you're an extremely accomplished dancer and you want to stand out in those early rounds, even with no stones. But I see a lot of women choose it because they're like, well, it's slenderizing. Well, you know what? It's not a bathing suit contest for Sports Illustrated. It is a ballroom dance contest. You want to stand out. You're going to be judged on your dancing, okay? It tends to communicate a sense of corruption or loss, so it's not the most positive feeling on the floor. Unless, of course, you're doing a show dance or solo where you're the only person on the floor. At that point, you rock whatever color you want because all eyes is going to be on you. Okay, next up, white. I do like this color on the floor. The downside, I've had many white gowns, is those darn things get dirty and stained. I don't even know how. And it's almost like the tail suit color will rub off on there. But they are beautiful, I'll give it that. And it definitely is extremely light catching because as we know, white reflects all the colors of the rainbow when it hits it. So it's not like a black that sucks all that light in. Very noticeable. So think about the things that we would see in society as white. Angels, wedding dresses, doves, peace flags. So this is a very simple color. It can be useful if your choreography is very chaotic, for example, in open. Maybe that's why these open level dancers are using it in that final. Because when you're doing a ton of open choreography, what are you missing? Well, you're kind of missing those basics. And you definitely, even if you're doing a whole bunch of continuous pivots for your entire routine, you still want to convey to the judges, hey, I have mastered the basic syllabus. So that could play in your favor too, even if you're dancing, say, novice level, but you have a lot of fancy open figures. You still want to definitely send that message in your judge's mind that you have mastered the basics, in which case white probably going to play in your favor. And friendly reminder, you can use flesh tones, for example, the mesh. Some people even like to do an opaque hand-colored fabric to do a little more skin coverage for more mature dancers and just use these colors as accent colors. It'll accomplish the same thing. So in a nutshell, yes, we want to use those colors that we're wearing to whisper to the subconscious of our judges and elicit some sort of emotion in them that's positive. And you want to take your dancing into consideration when choosing that costume color. And like I said in my last color video, you know what? If you are feeling a certain color, I don't care if it helps your dancing or not. If you want to wear that, I would rock that color because you're spending a heck of a lot of money on costume. Okay, guys, I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning for some more things ballroom dance. Have a wonderful, happy dancing day. Bye.